6 minutes and 34 seconds left in Game 3. Miami down 13, down 2-0.
And Wade will attempt a corner three. It's good.
And in Dallas, the newspaper had already printed the championship parade route. Then a 24-year-old in his third season decided the series was ending a different way.
Against Miami. Oh, what a circuit.
A little over 9 minutes left.
What comes next isn't a hot streak. It's 4 straight games where one man refused to let anybody else decide the outcome. You know the confetti. You don't know the road there. And it starts with Dwyane Wade losing.
He just got KCP twice.
Yeah, he got him with that one. That was...
Number 7, Game 6, one outfit.
This week is Member Appreciation Week now underway as we got some big-time...
Before the flight to Dallas, Pat Riley stood at the gate and inspected his team's luggage. Personally, the rule, one outfit, one. If you packed for 2 games, you weren't getting on the plane.
Wade in transition, three-pointer.
Toronto.
According to Shaq, there was a staffer, not even a player, who packed extra and got sent to catch a commercial flight by himself. Riley was serious. There was no Game 7 in his plan, and he wanted every man on that plane physically carrying the belief that there wouldn't be one.
Dwyane Wade.
June 20th, 2006, American Airlines Center, and Dallas came out swinging. 30-23 after 1, Miami down as many as 14, in the building where they'd already been beaten twice. Same movie as Game 3, on the road, with the Mavericks' entire season behind every possession.
Wade, coming at you!
Miami took the second quarter 26-18, tied at 71 going into the fourth. Wade's final line: 36 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks in 45 minutes. 10 of 18 from the floor, 16 of 21 from the line, 11 points in the fourth quarter, and 4 straight free throws inside the last 27 seconds of regulation to close it. Mourning blocked 5 shots. Shaq, 4-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, the entire reason that roster existed, scored 9 points, grabbed 12 boards, and let the 24-year-old have it. 95-92. Add it up.
Signature move on a youngster.
Over the final 4 games, 42, 36, 43, 36. 157 points, better than 39 a night, every one of them with elimination somewhere in the building. For the series, 34.7 points, 7.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 2.7 steals. He led the entire 2006 postseason with 654 points.
Dwyane Wade.
Third franchise in NBA history to win a title after going down 0-2 in the finals. Riley's first ring as a head coach since 1988. Miami's first banner ever. Greatness gets discussed in November. It gets decided in June. Wade walked into that finals as Shaq's running mate and walked out 8 days later as the best player on the floor. And everybody in the sport knew it before the confetti landed.
Wade, coming at you!
Number 6, Game 5. 43 points and the most contested whistle in finals history.
Wade leading the break.
June 18th, Miami. If you watch one game from this series, it's this one. And if you're a Mavericks fan, it's the one you've never forgiven. Wade scored 43. He also went to the free throw line 25 times, the exact same number of attempts the entire Dallas Mavericks roster got.
Wade on the reverse.
There's isoing him here for this last shot. There's Wade.
He made 21 of them, which set an NBA Finals record for made free throws in a single game. Dallas fought. Terry answered with 35. Nowitzki had 20, but missed a critical free throw late in regulation. Terry's shot at the buzzer came up short. Overtime.
Head to Johnson, who sets up the lob, and it will go in for this.
Now the sequence that's been litigated for 2 decades. Heat down 1. 9.1 seconds left in OT. Miami inbounds to Wade, who catches it in the air and comes down in the backcourt. Cuban has argued ever since that it was a backcourt violation. No call. Wade drives. Referee Bennett Salvatore, from near half court, blows the whistle with 1.9 seconds left. And then the strangest moment of the entire series. Wade makes the first to tie it. Between free throws, Josh Howard signals for a timeout and starts walking off the floor.
Wade from the corner. Kaboom!
The officials grant it, Dallas's last one, which means when Wade makes the second, the Mavericks can't advance the ball to half court. Devin Harris has to heave a 60-footer. It misses, 101-100. Miami leads the series.
Cuts hard and the camaraderie and chemistry.
Here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Cuban was fined $250,000 over his conduct around that series, and years later he was still saying on record that the championship was stolen from Dallas. Wade's answer was direct. You're not going to tarnish the work he put in as a young player to do something almost nobody that age has ever done, and call it rigged.
Wade on the reverse.
There's isoing him here for this last shot. There's Wade.
Both things can be true. The whistle in that series was loud, and Wade attempted 97 free throws over 6 games because there was nobody in a Dallas uniform who could keep him out of the paint. 1 win left, and it had to happen in Texas.
Head to Johnson, who sets up the lob, and it will go in for this.
Number 5. Game 4. The night Dallas scored 7 points in a quarter.
He's gone 15 games in a row with at least one triple. Wade off.
Everybody talks about the drama. Nobody talks about the massacre. 2 nights later, Game 4 is where you could see something had genuinely broken in Dallas. Wade put up another 36. Miami won 98-74. 24 points in the NBA Finals against a 60-win team.
Off the spin, found Winslow for the 3. Kaboom!
But the number that tells the real story isn't Wade's. It's Dallas's fourth quarter. 7 points. 7. That was the lowest scoring quarter by any team in the entire history of the NBA Finals. A team built around one of the best offensive players of his generation, in the biggest games of their lives, managed 7 points in 12 minutes.
Very difficult on both.
Here's where it gets interesting, because this is the entry that quietly kills the argument you've heard for 20 years, that Wade's 2006 was nothing but a free throw parade. Miami won this one by 24 with defense. Haslam, undrafted, playing on a bad shoulder, living inside Nowitzki's jersey. Alonzo Mourning, a man on the floor with a kidney donated by his own cousin, waiting at the rim behind everything. James Posey chasing shooters. Riley's fingerprints on every rotation. And now the pivot, because that raises an obvious question. If the defense was that good, why did they lose the first 2 by double digits? Because they could always guard. Miami's defense didn't improve in the middle of a finals. What changed is that they finally had someone who could produce points when a possession collapsed. And once Wade became that guy, every stop turned into a bucket instead of another empty trip down.
12 points. Trae Young, 7 double-doubles as a rookie, 2 have come.
That's the basketball truth here, and it hasn't changed in 50 years. Defense keeps you alive in a finals. It does not win you one. Somebody has to get a basket with 6 on the shot clock, a hand in their face, and a hostile building screaming. Series tied 2-2. And the next game is the one people are still arguing about right now.
The spin. Drop.
Olynyk finds Wade underneath.
Number 4. Game 3. The last 9.3 seconds.
16 years going up against 14 years. My goodness.
Tie game, 95 all. Under 10 seconds. Miami's season on the possession. Wade probed. Nothing opened. He gave it up to Jason Williams with the shot clock bleeding out, and Williams kicked it to the one man in that building nobody in Dallas was worried about.
They're late last season. By the way, each game will include pop-up feature.
Gary Payton, 37 years old, 9-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year in his prime, and by 2006, a backup averaging 7.7 points off the bench, who had struggled badly all postseason. With 3 seconds on the shot clock, he rose up from just inside the arc and knocked it down. 97-95, 9.3 seconds left. Jason Terry's explanation afterward was blunt. It was a breakdown. They left Payton open, and that was the mistake. Now here's the twist that makes this the single most fragile moment in the whole series. Dallas got the ball back. Nowitzki drove and got fouled with 3.4 seconds on the clock. 2 free throws to tie the game. Dirk Nowitzki shot 25 for 27 from the line in that finals. 93%. In this series, he was as automatic as anyone has ever been in a championship round. He made the first. He missed the second.
Outscored Dallas 32.
98-96 Miami. Largest fourth-quarter comeback in Heat postseason history at that point. Sit with how thin that is. 1 rotation, 1 free throw. If Payton's man closes out, or if Nowitzki makes a shot he made 25 other times that series, Miami goes down 0-3, and the entire history of that franchise reads differently.
16 years going up against 14 years. My goodness.
No banner, maybe no Shaq era at all. Maybe a very different pitch to a free agent named LeBron James 4 years later. 1 healthy player, 1 different bounce. An entire franchise changes direction. Nowitzki's line to the press afterward. Now we've got a series. He had no idea. That was the last game the Dallas Mavericks would ever win.
3. Got it! 13 of 23 for the floor in the third quarter.
Number 3. Game 3. 6 minutes that saved a franchise. Dallas center Desagana Diop said it plainly years later. Sitting on that bench watching Miami's own crowd boo them, he thought the game was over. He wasn't being arrogant, he was being accurate. The Mavericks had ripped off a 34-16 third quarter and led 77-68 heading into the fourth. With 6:34 left, they were up 13. If you were in that building, you remember the sound. That specific silence of 20,000 people realizing the season just died in their own house.
Waiters, back to Dwyane. Shoots. No, he couldn't get it off. Now.
Then Riley called timeout. He pulled out the dry erase board and wrote 4 words. This is the season. Haslam has said everyone in that huddle understood immediately. Whatever happened in the next 6 minutes was the entire year. Then Wade went to work. 42 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists on the night. 15 of those points came in that fourth quarter alone. Drives, pull-ups, and free throw after free throw. Miami scored 30 in the period. Dallas scored 19.
The first half. And he is done for the night.
Now this is where Miami will...
But here's the detail that separates this from every other big scoring game you've ever seen, and it's the one that gets left out constantly. Wade played the final 10:56 with 5 fouls. 1 more whistle and his season ends on the bench in street clothes. Most players in that situation stop driving. They take jumpers. They protect themselves. He drove every single time. Over the last 6+ minutes of that game, Dwyane Wade scored all but 2 of Miami's field goals. Riley looked over at the Dallas bench during that timeout and saw them high-fiving. Nothing outrageous. Just a team confident it was about to put someone away. 6 minutes later, the game was tied, and that's where the story should end. But Wade didn't take the shot that won it, and the man who did had spent the entire postseason being written off.
Cavaliers locker room took a hit to the chest.
Number 2, the parade route.
I can't be mad at you for this.
You mean they would not postpone it for David Lee?
This is the part nobody wants to talk about, and it's the reason everything after it happened. With the series sitting 2-0, the Dallas Morning News printed the city of Dallas's official championship parade plans. Not a prediction column, the plans. Mark Cuban was publicly joking that he'd accept the Larry O'Brien trophy from David Stern wearing nothing but a Speedo.
Wade slipping it to James.
Wade has talked about this since. What stuck with him wasn't the parade route, it was the framing that came out of Game 1. The idea that Miami wasn't just losing, but that they were unworthy of standing on the same floor. He said flatly, that's what lit it.
Assists for LeBron. Here's Wade with the lead for
And here's the stat that reframes the entire situation. In the history of the NBA Finals, no team has ever come back from 0-3. Not one. Not before 2006. Not in the 20 years since. Which means Game 3 wasn't Game 3 of 7. It was the last exit before the ending got written for them permanently.
After making his 11th start out of his...
Now here's the second reframe, and it's the one that makes this series historically strange. Even at 0-2, the hole was almost as deep. Only 2 franchises in league history had ever won a title after dropping the first 2 games of the finals, the 1969 Celtics and the 1977 Trailblazers. That's the entire list. 2 teams in 60 years.
But Wade could not field it, then just turns, hits the fadeaway.
Miami wasn't fighting an uphill series. They were fighting the actual arithmetic of the sport, and the man they were leaning on was 24 years old, drafted 5th overall 3 seasons earlier out of Marquette, playing in the first finals of his life, coming off the 2 worst shooting nights of his postseason.
Well, thanks, David. George Karl said he's going to go with that 4-point guard lineup.
Championships are the only currency in this league, and on the morning of June 13, 2006, Dwyane Wade had none, and roughly 6 hours of season left to earn one. What he did with the last 6 of them changed the sport.
Wade slipping it to James. That's
Number 1. Games 1 and 2. The 2 nights nobody puts in. The montage.
Initially, it looked like baseball was going to stay down, but
Here's what the highlight reel leaves out. Before Wade took over the 2006 finals, the 2006 finals took him apart. Understand who Dallas was that year. 60 wins, 3rd best record in the league. They'd already gone through a 63-win San Antonio team and Steve Nash's Suns just to get to June. They'd also swept Miami in the regular season. All of it, no debate.
And a perfectly timed
Wade.
And Miami arrived carrying its own strange season. Stan Van Gundy resigned in December after an 11-10 start. Pat Riley came down from the front office and took the bench back himself, and the Heat went 41-20 the rest of the way. 52 wins. Through Chicago, through New Jersey, through the Detroit Pistons team that had ended them the year before. First finals appearance in franchise history.
That's that same move, right? You know what's right here? Eyebrow thing.
Then Game 1 happened. Miami led by 8 after the first quarter and scored 12 points in the entire fourth. 12. Jason Terry dropped 32. Final, 90-80. Game 2 was worse than the score. Nowitzki went for 26 and 16.
back to Dwyane. Shoots. No, he couldn't get it off. Now fires it up.
Shaquille O'Neal, the man Riley had mortgaged the franchise to get, scored 5 points. And Wade, a first-team All-NBA guard who'd averaged 27.2 a game that season, went 6 for 19. Across the 2 games, he shot 38.6%.
From the bucket. Yes! Dwyane Wade, a triple-double.
Here's the part that should have ended it. This was the 2-3-2 format. The next 3 games were in Miami, which sounds like a lifeline until you understand what it actually meant. Dallas needed to steal one. 1 game in Miami and the Heat would go back to Texas, needing to win 2 on the road. If you were watching that night, you weren't watching a series. You were watching a coronation, with 2 more formalities left. And then Dallas started celebrating it out loud.
And a perfectly timed